I think she'll be coming out.
Good morning, Miss Stiggleswig.
Good morning.
Just look at that for impudence. You girl. Yes, you, Mitch Khan. Come here this instant. What do you think you're doing?
When, miss?
When, miss? Just now, miss. Outside.
I don't know what you mean.
Of course you know what I mean. Did you think nobody could see you? Well, you can just write out 200 times, I must not ape my betters. Do you understand?
I don't...
Are you deaf as well as insolent? Repeat what I said.
I must not...
Ape my betters. Ape. It means imitate. Better still, you can write imitate. It'll take you longer. I must not imitate my betters 200 times. To be handed to me here at the same time tomorrow. Or else I'll double it to 400. Now, do you understand?
Yes, miss.
Right, well, get about your business then. And you two as well, get along to where you're going, or else you'll get some of the same. Oh, really, Sigsy. Haven't you got eyes in your head, or do you just like them to make a fool of you?
I don't know what you're talking about, Miss Jones.
I'm talking about Mitch Khan, walking behind you and taking you off.
Well, I can't be expected to have eyes at the back of my head, can I?
But you can be expected to have enough authority over your girls so that they don't make fun of you at every opportunity.
Well, I don't know why you should be so unpleasant about it.
Because you undermine the position of us all.
Well, perhaps you'd like to give me some lines as well. Excuse me.
Give us some lines. Give us a boot, more likely. If I were in Sarah Burton's place, she wouldn't last another term.
Poor old Agnes.
Poor old Agnes. Girls, the little chiff-chaff's back. Oh, why does she make such a fool of herself?
It wouldn't do for us all to be the same, you know, Miss James.
Certainly wouldn't do for us all to be like Sigsy. School would grind to a halt. Did he post for me?
Not this morning.
Telling me what this is doing here?
What is it?
It's a letter addressed to me with a postmark 3 days old.
Oh, that must be the one I took accidentally across to the boarding house the day before yesterday. I did send the serving maid over as soon as I realized.
Really, Miss Parsons? You do realize, of course, that I've missed an important appointment because of your carelessness?
I don't see how it was my carelessness, Miss Jameson. I did try to rectify the mistake as soon as I knew.
I would have thought the least you could have done was to make sure that it was handed to me personally.
I don't see why you should make such a fuss about a simple mistake.
A fuss? Oh, is it making a fuss to expect my letters to come straight to me instead of lying around for weeks?
All I can say is, if you'd had as much to do as I've had to do this term since the school reassembled, you'd have a jolly sight less time on your hands to go about looking for grievances.
Laura would just happen to be watching. Isn't she just the most awfully bossy cat you've ever met? Anyway, she's got me 3 points. Walking pants sticking irritating her isn't worth it. What is it? What about the line? You can't take points for punishment. Oh, can't I? Who says I can't? You're Daddy, and I'm giving myself a 3. There.
She thinks very highly of you, you know, Lydia, does Miss Burton. You mustn't think she's forgotten you just because we haven't found a way yet of getting you back to school. If we could find somebody to look after the little ones during the day. You say your father has no relatives?
No, not that I know of.
And your mother?
Oh, my mum had a sister somewhere a long way off. Don't know where, though.
Who lives in that green place over there?
Mr. and Mrs. Mitchell.
Well, Miss Holmes always considered that the
I'm
fourth
thinking
form...
about the girls, Miss Siggleswaite. I'm thinking about the exam results. They should already be thinking along scientific lines in upper 4.
Well, there's no point if they're not ready for it.
It's no use us saying they're not ready for it. We must make them ready for it. It's our responsibility. Well, what is the particular problem with upper 4 as you see it?
Well, there's something about them at that age, something wayward. I was going to say almost...
Almost what?
Well, almost cruel, but I suppose that's too
children
strong.
of that age can be cruel if they're allowed to be, if they think they can get away with it. But it's surprising how soon it leaves them when they know that they can't.
Well, I'm fully aware that I'm not the best disciplinarian in the school.
You can keep them interested.
Well, supposing they're not interested, Miss Burton, supposing they don't want to learn.
Miss Siggleswaite, you know as well as I do, there are very few children who actually want to come to school. We must justify our existence. And since children are infinitely malleable and responsive, it's also where we find our reward. Well, you obviously were eager to learn. So was I, teaching pupils like Lydia Holly.
Oh, Lydia Holly. Found her quite impossible.
Did you notice nothing special about the quality of her mind?
Well, it was mostly corrupted. She's a slum child and she knows far too much about the wrong thing, so I was very glad to see the last of her.
Well, I wasn't. And if you can't recognize promise like that,
Really
after all
sorry. If
these
that's
years,
your
I'm
attitude,
so
I really
sorry.
don't
Miss
feel...
Siggleswaite, would you mind sitting down, please? I beg your pardon.
Yes?
Mr. Mitchell?
Oh, good morning.
I'm County Alderman Beddoes. Mrs. Beddoes, actually.
Oh, well, won't you sit down, Mrs. Beddoes? I've seen your picture in the papers.
There's a matter I think you and your wife might be able to help me with.